morning, guys. A new week. It's Sunday. The weather's decent. It's a little cold, so I'm getting a little bit later start. And if you hear my voice, you can probably tell I got a nice little head cold going. So caught that in the last couple of days. But I had to work a couple of days, but I'm back up here. And Glenn yesterday brought his skid steer and did some more on the road, which looks awesome. He widened it, smoothed it out, brought me some gravel up here because I'm gonna have to put it in all these forms eventually. I don't know if I'll get to that today, but right now I'm gonna finish up tightening up this side of the forms. I kind of put them together real quick the other day when I had to work, but that's my goal, is to straighten those out, make sure they're in place. Then I start playing with the level, make sure this is all level, sideways and horizontally, lengthwise too. So yeah, I think I'll start with that and we'll see where we get. All right, guys, I got some of those cross members in, but I'm getting a bow here, and that's because I put the wood all together over here, and it's like a little bit too long, so I'm gonna have to shave some off, and that'll bring that bow back in. And then there's a little bow down here too that's going the opposite way, so I'm gonna try to work on that right now, and then start buckling up this rest of this. Oh, it's about 10 feet right here, and that'll be the rest of it, and it'll all be tied together, and then I can start leveling. So I'm gonna work on this little bow thing first. Guys, I really am digging being up here in the woods for this home build. In Wyoming, we don't have a tree, a tree right now. We got little saplings growing, but nothing on our property, and we always joke that feel like we're on a stage, because even though it's 10-acre sites, your neighbors are, they can see all around what you're doing, and it just feels like they're, I doubt they're watching, but it always makes you feel that way. But up here, there's no breeze today. It's nice and calm. It's the perfect temperature to be just working in shirt sleeve, and so quiet. Usually I have music on too, and I'm not even playing music, just enjoying being outdoors and in the sun. All right, guys, straighten that out. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to start building up these bulkheads. So I got 3 of them right there, that first one over here, and then this one here. You'll see me, you got to form wood so that concrete will just sit in there and form that step. So I'm going to break for lunch, and I'll do that after. But the forms are totally in and all tied together now. So I'll build these bulkheads, and then we'll start leveling too. Hey, what happened to my sun? Just like that, it's all cloudy now. Much cooler too. So had to throw the sweatshirt back on. But I'm gonna start with this bulkhead here. What I need to do is, if you picture concrete's gonna be coming here and then down here. So we gotta make it do a step up like that. So what you have to do is put a piece of wood here down to this, that creating the bulkhead. They'll fill that in, and then when we pour, the day we pour, we do all our three bulkheads first. Let that all settle in. Otherwise, if you're pouring these, you'll never get that to hold up. It'll always want to keep flowing down or sinking and stuff. So we'll pour this first and let it start setting while we do the rest of the forms. And then when we get back to it, this will already be hardened somewhat. And then you can concrete up to both sides of it and get your step and stuff. It worked in Wyoming, so that's the way we're gonna do it here, I think. So, anyways, I'm gonna get to it. Start measuring out a piece of wood for this. I think I gotta cut this or move this little piece back here that is holding these two boards together. So I got that one back. So I'm going to move that one back. Then I can put my board across there. And then we'll work on the other two bulkheads. So let's get going. Ding, ding, ding. First thing is to back that out. Screw. The other tricky thing is having this line here. You don't always see it. So it is a trip hazard. It's happened more than once. Okay, got those four screws out. Now, running into a rock here. So what I think I'm gonna do, this board, pretty much just rip this in half. It'll still cover, but it won't stick out in front of that board that I need. So let's rip that. Actually, you warm up pretty quick once you start working. Funny how that happens. I'm ready to take this sweatshirt off. Maybe it was eating lunch and sitting around for half an hour, but now I feel fine. So 4 inches, it looks like. Just putting this back in here to hold these boards together. So I'll screw that in real quick here. Mm-hmm. Let's put one more in for good measure here. All right. Okay. Now what I can do is put my board across the front here. I'll show you what I got to do here. Basically, all you're thinking of is where's concrete going to run out where you don't want it to. So you got to make that, see, like that. So it doesn't have to be perfect because these are just forms. As long as that's straight, concrete hits that and forms it up real nice, then it's going to be poured right to here and then poured up there, thus creating a step. Now I will have to block off the sides a little bit more, but that I can use some scrap wood just so the cement doesn't leak out the sides there. So, but that looks good, and I can just screw right into these blocks, and there you got your bulkhead. So, all right. And I'm going to put 4 in here because that's got to hold concrete back. You don't want that bowing. Screws, where's my screws? There they are. It's very convenient working at Lowe's because if I need more screws or work tomorrow, I just put a reminder on my phone or something. While I'm at work, I just grab them. It does not like that wood. Oh, it's too short. There, that even strengthened side to side back. So I'm gonna find some scraps and dig that out a little, put those in. So no concrete. It doesn't matter when you only got like say an inch along your bottom or 2 inches. Uh, the cement sets up when you pour it. It's thick already, and it doesn't pour out like water or something like that. So it doesn't really matter. Uh, but something like this, there's a big, you can't see it from the camera angle, but there's a big gap there, and you just got to block it with a piece of wood. So I'll do that now. All right, guys, I got the this second bulkhead done. I didn't cut this and this off because it really doesn't matter. The concrete's going to be down below here, and then it's not going to come up until behind this board right here and creating that step up. So uh, I do have to do the like some covers on the sides here where you don't want concrete to ooze out, but I figure I'm going to do the leveling first because then I'll know exactly what I have to do for that. So that's the second bulkhead done. This one, as you saw, we did earlier. And then this one, because it's a double step, so I actually got to go up 16 inches, and that gets me to the top there, all the way down to the top of this piece. So that's 16 inches. So I got to go down and cut myself a nice square block of OSB to put there properly. And I don't want to walk all the way down there to the barn just for that. So I can do that anytime. But that'll get that done. Then we'll put the covers on the sides too. But I think what I'm going to do is move on to starting to level this off as best I could. So can with stakes and stuff. Um, so the best way to do that is start at your highest point, which is this corner, because that's where that double step goes up, and then the single step that's right there that goes. So that's my high point, this corner. Just like a kitchen when you're laying cabinets, you start with your highest point, and you can always shim up, but you can't dig into the floor, as they say, to lower a cabinet. So you want to start out with your highest point. So we can make sure this is nice and level with the ground here, this corner, and then we can go on and move from there. We can always, I can dig it with my hammer or throw some stone in there to raise it. So whatever, and but we'll start getting that level. So I'm gonna level it from side to side, and then also from lengthwise too. So as I move on, so I think what I'll do is start right in that corner there. All right, guys, it's quitting time. Didn't even think I'd last this long with my cold, but once I get going, I like to get to a certain spot. So there's the stakes, and it's pretty simple. You just kind of uh, shim underneath it, put a stone or whatever you find until it's level and level across there. So I took my 2 foot level for that and then my 8 foot level to go this way. And once you get them dialed in, you just set a stake on each side in between because these are going to help hold the concrete from bowing out, and then the stakes will do the same in between these two spots and stuff. So I staked it all around that corner. Again, that's my high corner, so that's where we're starting. I was I had to go down. My friend Glenn came over, and I paid him for what he did the other day. So I ended up grabbing a thing of OSB and cutting that for the bulkhead there. So uh, that's all framed in. And once again, we got to put some wood in between there so cement doesn't leak out, and the same here. So I'll cut some boards or something and we'll stick them in there. So then I staked it. Then I started leveling this, and I got to this corner here, and that's all level. So I staked that, and that's good for today. So next we'll work on this 48 feet here, and then go around, come back around, and be done. And then it's gravel and rebar, and I'll probably call my concrete guy this week and schedule something for the following week, and hopefully we get this done.
Morning, guys. Tuesday morning. So, back at it. Yesterday I worked, and so this morning I've been up here. A little overcast today, but not bad. A little humid, uh, but nice for February. We keep getting a little bit of drizzle, but nothing lasts that long. So, I'm down this 48-foot front piece here and staking that right now. So, just doing more of the same what I did yesterday, Sunday, when we were up here. And let me just show you. So just putting stakes in between the cross bracing, and that's just giving it a lot more um, strength on the walls. The big thing is just fine tuning, uh, going along with the 8-foot level, and then the 2-foot level, and just making sure, just shimming it where I need to, and then you just screw the stakes in, and they keep it right where it's supposed to be and stuff. So just about ready to round this corner, and then I just have this 20 feet and up to about those cinder blocks there is where I got a stake. So yeah, a little bit more, about halfway now. So and then the next thing will be putting gravel in here. There is some gravel in many of the spots, but I'm gonna make sure it's nice and smooth, evenly distributed throughout, especially in the forms where the step is going to be and stuff. So yeah, I'll work on that maybe this afternoon or so. Okay. All right, guys. All the stakes are in. There's like 2 or 3 over here that I got to go down to the barn and make either find some or make some for those 3 right there. But all in all, everything's in and we're level. Uh, got to tweak this corner a little. I've been working on this step and cleaning it out. So I got it all kind of chiseled out, the dirt and stuff, and I'll start filling this with some gravel. So in order to get my wheelbarrow in here, and when the guy comes to do concrete, he's going to have, it's a stand-along. He actually rides on it, a wheelbarrow, and it's good for this type of where it's up in the woods and it's tight and then no cement truck can get around here. And he'll be coming up with, as far as the cement truck gets, he'll go down, grab a load, bring it up here and dump it. And his guys will start spreading it around in here when we do the concrete. So what I got to do is make, since this goes all the way around the form, I got to cut a piece out about 4 feet long, and I'm going to do it right here, I think, uh, for him to have access, because then he'll get in here and do all these all the way around, and as he works himself out, I'll put this one back together, and then he'll finally pour that at the end from the plan. I also, while I was at it today, I don't know if you can tell, but I got a gray conduit line right in there. You can just kind of see a hint of it. I already covered it back up, but I have that going from the outside here all the way under the cement. So picture that all cement in there, and then coming out to where that flag is. And what that does is give me an access. I just have to dig where that flag is right here and run my water line through that conduit. And that way it'll bring my water inside the house and underneath here where I'll start piping it in for the rest of the house. By the way, we're getting high winds. I don't know if you can hear it on my mic, but they just kicked up a little while ago. We got a high wind warning and stuff, but not a bad day. It's actually pretty warm, and we're supposed to get some rain tomorrow, but I work all day tomorrow, so that's all right. So yeah, it's coming along.
All right, guys. the rest of our 16 or 12-inch oversized cinder blocks for the first level just got dropped. Shannon's home for the 5 days before she goes to New Hampshire for her next nursing contract. So we figured we'd do that because today's just a iffy day. It's been kind of sprinkling this morning and stuff, so we did that. Next we'll be getting these up in the back of her pickup truck in the next couple of days, so those are up at the site. But she's able to drive up and down this road no problem, so cool. Good morning, guys. As you can see, brought some block up. So the plan is we'll start out bringing a little bit of block up at a time, and we brought a pallet with us so we can put it on that pallet, and it's quite a workout, so we're only going to do it little by little. Shannon's actually going to go down and just very slowly get some more block to bring up, and then I'm going to start. My plan is to start putting gravel in the molds here and get that evened out. So that's what we're at right now, Sunday morning, and we'll see how far we get. Okay. All right, morning, guys. Yesterday kind of got away from us a little. We started out with the laser in the afternoon and got to about here. Now it's called the transit. You set up a laser at your high point, then you take your marking stick, and it has a receiver on it that beeps when every one of these boards is even with that exact corner. So that is when you just dial it in perfectly level and stuff. And we were a little off coming here, which would in turn make it just get worse as you go around. So we dialed this in really good, and then we discovered that this drops off enough that we can create one more step right here. So that's what I'm going to do today is clear this out. It's not that bad. And then drop this section, which is right about this 10 feet or so, 12 feet, is going to drop down one section. So there'll be a block coming here first to meet that section going around. So just another tricky thing, but the big thing is you cannot let off on this. This has to be perfect because what it does is makes the whole house perfectly level as you build. It's just so much easier. We did the same thing. We drove ourselves nuts in Wyoming until we got it right, and it worked so much better because we had even foundation, and when you start putting the flooring in, it goes in perfectly level, and then the walls go on top of that. You stand those up, and your top of your walls are perfectly level for your roof to sit, and the whole thing just, this is the part that is kind of time consuming. It's very detailed, but you got to get it right. So we're just going to continue on this today. Also, as you can see, it's starting to be more of a construction site. We got another load of our 12-inch blocks to finish off this first layer on the back side, and then all our blocks for the rest of the walls are slowly coming up here. We got about another load
that'll even that um, pallet right there. So, uh, and then we're done with the blocks. The blocks will all be up here ready to go. So once we get it poured, it sits for a week or so. They can start laying the block, and we should be good. So let's get on with it.
All right, guys, 170 cinder blocks. The last 30 on their way up to the house to be stacked. But yay, that was a big job.
Well, guys, I was hoping to end the video with the rebar and everything, but we got held up now on this side with some pretty big rocks that just, we either got to scribe the wood or we're going to try to get them out. Uh, Shannon's just giving it one last try before we quit for the day. But I think this is actually going to, the more we get the transit on here, as we level this up to this step, it's actually going to be beneficial probably to come down another step and just dig the rest of that out. That's how close we are to just making that a double step. So I think that's the way to go to make this thing. We got it level pretty much with the transit right to here. So it's right in between this step and this that we're just finding a little problem, and we'll get it next time. But I work the next 2 days and say goodbye to Shannon. She's off to New Hampshire for 3 months, and she'll meet me in Wyoming. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Give me the thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.